What's up, my friends? It's Tracy Allen, aka the Cremation Lady. And I was on Instagram the other day and it brought back a memory for me of an outer body experience that I personally experienced. So I'm going to play this clip for you, and then after you see this, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play just a little bit of it, and then I'm going to come back and share my story.
Wait, so we actually now know what happens when you die? Yep. There were studies done where they brought people into hypnosis, and here's how they described what death is like. First, they would describe floating above their body and being a little bit shook. Like, wait, I'm dead? And they look down and they actually see their body. At this point, whatever their belief is very important, because if they believe death is absolutely nothing, they're going to be a little bit confused. And the first thing they realize is that free will still exists in this sort of state. So you're still on Earth, you're just kind of floating around. Which means that, yes, most people go to their own funeral. They actually go to their memorial service and listen to what people have to say about them.
Now, I know there are some people that may not believe this kind of stuff happens, but I personally witnessed it. So what had happened was, back in Pittsburgh, I was about 9 years old, and I had my next door neighbors begging me to go to the swimming pool with them. They were a family of 6. And they were like my next door brothers and sister. You know, there was only Michelle. She was the only girl out of the bunch. So they're begging me to go. And I'm like, well, I want to go, but my mom probably is not going to let me go. And they said, well, we'll ask her. So they go next door where I live and ask my mom, Miss Elaine, that was my mama's name. Miss Elaine, can Tracy come to the swimming pool with us? And she was like, oh no, she can't swim. They said, well, we'll watch her. We'll make sure that nothing happens to her. My mom still was like, They said, please, Miss Elaine, we promise we won't let anything happen to her. So she relents and she lets me go. Now, we get to the pool. We're having a great time. We're all playing in the water, having fun, laughing, giggling. We're happy. Everything is cool. But at some point, they know how to swim. And they're like, we're getting ready to go swim. We're getting ready to go do some other things. And I'm like, okay. So they go off in one direction and I go to the side of the pool and I'm like, I think I'm going to travel down to the 9 feet. I'm going to just hold on to the side and just go around the pool and stuff, you know. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going down. And then I get down to the 9 feet, but now I want to go across, right? I'm tired of going along this side. I want to go across and get to the other side. Now, there's like this little ledge at the bottom of the pool. And I think it separated the 9 feet from the 6 feet. Whatever the case, I was in too deep. I'm 9 years old. So I'm walking across, but I'm holding on to the rope that's dividing that water at the top. And I don't want the lifeguard to fuss at me. So I think to myself, oh, I don't want him yelling at me. So I'm going to let go of this rope and I'll just go across. Shouldn't be no problem. I take a step and it's a slope. It's like a curve like that. So I take a step and shoop, down to the bottom of the 9 feet I go. I don't know how to float. I don't know how to swim at all. And so I'm down there fighting the water, trying to hold my breath, but I can't hold it that long. So I'm trying to breathe and that's not working. I'm just not sure what to do. So I come back up. I finally get a way to get up, but I've taken in so much water. I guess I'm exhausted. I can't speak. I can't get any words out. So I can't scream. So the only thing I knew to do was wave my hands. And I see the lifeguard, but the lifeguard is looking this direction. He never sees me. So I continue to wave and I'm looking to see if anybody can see me, but no one sees me. I get tired and I fall back down to the bottom of the pool. Again, I'm down there fighting, trying to get out. And I make my way to the top again. Again, I'm waving my hands and trying to get someone to see me, but no one sees me again. Again, I fall back to the bottom. So here I go the third time. This third time, my mindset was different. This third time I said, if he doesn't see me, if no one sees me this time, I guess this is how I'm going to die. So I'm waving, no one is seeing me, and I'm tired. And I say, guess this is it. And I black out. Now, my body did not float to the top. It floated at the bottom. And I was meant to be here because there was a girl that happened to be swimming underneath the water, and she bumps into my body floating at the bottom of the pool. I don't know this. I'm unconscious. So she apparently goes to get help. They're fishing my body out of the water. And in that moment, as I'm seeing my body being pulled out of the water from a distance, so I'm not like way up or anything like that, but I'm not too far from the body. Like I'm able to see everything that's around. I'm seeing the pool. I'm seeing my friends, and I see my friends running over. Michelle, she's got her hands on her face. Like, oh my God. I'm seeing Michelle. I'm seeing just all of these people running over to me. And just like in that video where they're like, you still are kind of aware of some things. I was embarrassed at that moment because I had a little bikini on. And you know, when you get out of the water and you have a bikini, the water, gravity pulls the bikini bottom. And so I remember thinking, oh my gosh, you know, the water's pulling my bikini bottom. But there was no fear. There was nothing. It was just really kind of an observation of me seeing what was happening to me at that moment. So I guess when they started CPR is maybe when my spirit jumped back into my body and I woke up choking. So they rushed me out to the hospital. Now, the next weird thing that happened was my mom, she said that she was at home. When she gets to the hospital, she's telling me what happened. She said, you know, I was at home and she had company. That's what we used to say back in the day when you had visitors. You know, I got company. So my mom, she had a company over, and she said at one point she got up to answer the phone. She said, but it hadn't rung yet. So she sat back down. She said, I don't know why I went over thinking that the phone rang. She said as soon as she sat down, the phone did ring. And it spooked her. And she looked at her guests and she was like, okay, I don't know. So she goes to the phone, she answers, and then that's when she's being told that I had a drowning accident. I'm at the hospital. I'm okay, you know. But so she, you know, gets a ride to the hospital and stuff. And so again, here I am. But it just, like I said, I saw that video and it brought back that memory. And it's something that I think about quite often because I was real close to never being able to do these videos. And I just believe that there are so many things that we live this life and we just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen once we're gone or anything like that. And in that video, I can put the link to that Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, you should be able to go and watch it. Because towards the end, they're talking about how at some point we go back into another body or something like that. I can't say I believe all of what I saw, but it was interesting. It was just interesting. But I do often wonder, and I said this in another video before, about deja vu. Because there are many, many times that I'll remember something that didn't happen. You know, you meet someone and you're like, how is it that we're having this experience and it feels familiar? Like, I remember being here doing this, but I've never met you before. I've never been to this place before. And one other quick little story about the whole deja vu thing. Again, back in Pittsburgh, for anybody watching this, Kennywood Park. So I went on my first little date. I was 13, and we get to the park and we're having a great time. And so then my date is like, hey, let's go play this game. And so we're walking. He was going to play this game where I think there was like a big old bear that you could win or something like that. I think that was like the biggest prize. So as we're getting close to where you can play that game, in that moment, I had this overwhelming feeling like something was talking to me and it said, he's going to win. He's going to win for you. And I was like, really? And so I get ready to tell him. And it was like the spirit said, no, if you say something, you mess up this moment and he won't win. So I was like, okay. So I kept quiet, but I'm bursting to tell him. And so he starts playing and he wins. He wins the big bear for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I knew you were going to win. There was something that was telling me that you were going to win. And it was just, that was a one and only time that I had such a vibe that was giving me actual directions. Like other times you just experience something, but you don't get any like warning. That particular time, it was like, don't say anything or else he will not win. So he did win. So anyway, like I said, just, reminiscing about life and thinking about how we just don't know how all of these pieces work. Yeah, it's just interesting. So that's my Saturday story. Today I have been home just kind of being a lazy bum, but I actually did get a couple of things accomplished today. I helped someone that has a loved one that was in the midst of passing. So there, that was my Saturday today. But I wanted to share those stories. I hope that you will share a story with me. Put it down in the comments. Have you experienced a near-death thing where you had an out-of-body experience? Have you experienced deja vu, something that was kind of like really weird? I know I'm not the only one. So share with me. Give this video a like. Share in the comments your thoughts, something that happened to you. And thank you for coming by, and thank you for listening. And if you don't believe me, it's okay. It's okay, right? It's my story, and it happened. So, all right, you guys have a great one, and ciao for now.